Do you guys ever get the feeling that status effect builds might be a little bit too OP for heroic and lower content? So I've been grinding out a bunch of stuff, getting that XP up, and I finally got the Vile Mask. And on the topic of grinding, I will make a short video just explaining a little bit easier way to do it, so in case you really want to get the Vile Mask, maybe it might help you out get a little bit faster. But in this video, I want to talk about my updated Eclipse Protocol build with the Vile Mask. As you can see, I am using the Firestarter Chem Launcher over the airburst Seeker Mine. Now, the main reason that I'm doing this is, well, I already made a build with the airburst Seeker Mine. I already made a video talking about why you should use the airburst Seeker Mine. So I really think it's a dead horse at this point to just hammer it again and again and again. Plus, I'm also human and I like to change things up, and I don't really always want to use the exact same thing every single time. Now, you may have some questions about the Vile Mask, and I'm not going to go into extreme detail about every single facet of the Vile Mask, but basically, think of it as like an extremely strong bleed damage. It's not the greatest status effect to inflict on the enemy. It's not going to do a huge amount of damage, but you'll probably get about 1,000,000 damage over the course of its duration. That's not huge, but again, every little bit helps when you're dealing with status effects. So, the more things that you proc, the more things you apply, the better the returns are overall. Alright, so jumping into the build, I am using the Technician Specialization. The reason I changed was just because I wanted a little bit more armor on this build just to be a little bit more tanky. I do have a lot more status effects, so it's not really that necessary to have that 20% burn duration. My weapon's pretty much the same, using In Sync and Perpetuation. I did change my pistol just to have Preservation on it. That way, in case I do run low on armor, switch to this, and while the enemies are dying from burn, I just end up getting Preservation. Taking a look at the Exotic Mask, Vile does have status effect and hazard protection and a yellow mod slot. Now, Toxic Delivery, like I said, does, over the course of 10 seconds, it deals 50% of your concussion grenade. So if you have status effect and you have explosive damage, then basically you're just increasing the amount of damage that will do. And again, I am using the Eclipse Protocol backpack with obviously status effect, but that one's got the symptom aggravator. So basically it gives me 15% amplified damage to all status affected targets, which I think it comes in handy. You may not think it's the best for status effects, period, but I think when I'm shooting at the enemy in combination, trying to, drop them before they end the status effect so I can keep it spreading, I think it comes in a little bit more handy than just having status effect damage. My gloves are Golan. They come with status effect, and they have a skill haste roll on them. My chest piece, again, another piece of Eclipse, and that's basically so I can get that proliferation to extend the duration and the range to 20 meters. And then, of course, my final two pieces, my knee and my holster, are again Eclipse Protocol for that 4-piece set. I am using the Firestarter Chem Launcher, and that's mostly just to switch things up. I mean, it's got 12-second burns. It's not the greatest, not terrible though. My airburst would be 29 seconds, but again, I like to switch things up. I don't want to rely just on one single thing all the time, and that's the only thing I'll use. So I do want to show you that I am using other stuff, and I do test out other things and compare them. I am still using the Hive, and the biggest reason I'm still using the Hive is mostly because the Seeker Mine, the Bleed Seeker, Explosive Seeker, whatever you want to call it, usually when I start the status effects, I target the reds because I want it to spread. So if I hit them with the Seeker after they're already, taking some damage, it'll just kill them without actually applying the bleed, and then that won't spread. So I usually avoid this one, and it's the same thing with the mortar turret. I wouldn't want to use it in most combat situations just because I might not actually get the bleed to spread. With the Stinger Hive, it's a lower likelihood that I'm going to kill the enemy outright and be able to actually spread the bleed. That's pretty much the only reason. Now, overall, my opinion of the Vile Mask, and I am going to be testing out different things with it. However, I do not feel that it is a mandatory exotic for status effect builds. It is nice, it is a little buff to your damage, but it is not really that much damage. I mean, it provides about as much damage as 2 to 3 ticks of my burn. I mean, that's good, but it's not great. It's not going to win you every single fight. It's not going to, drop a yellow bar, for instance. It's basically just there for a little bit of flavor, but I do have some interesting ideas with other ways that this mask might be useful. So keep a lookout for those, but thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.